My name is TJ. Others call me J. Others call me King J. You can call me any other J. And I'm on a mission to talk about the social cultural stereotyping in media and intercultural communication of black people in the white man's life. Is it our fault? Is it their fault? With regards to relationship, with regards to finding partners, with regard to food, with regard to ethnicity. Join me as I bring you wonderful revelations about African in the white man's life.
Cut my index finger to see if I still the bleed. Watch how I move on my mama, this is a wicked game. When I need some answers, question God and listen silently. We gon' make a way. We gon' make a way. Why there seems to be no way. We gon' make a change.
My name is Sophie.
Sophie, what's your take on African people in the Western world?
I personally don't have like a super strong take on African people because they're just people to me, you know what I mean? But I do understand that in, the Western society, there's not a lot of respect for their culture and a lot of recognition and acknowledgement for all of their cultures and everything, and yeah.
Would you date an African person?
Yeah, I would. It does not matter to me where someone's from, and I feel like it's more interesting to have someone with a different background than yours, and to find those differences and make that work. I feel like that's a really beautiful thing.
Have you had an African friend before?
I have had African friends before.
Have you listened to African music before?
I think I have. I don't listen to it regularly, I'll be honest with that.
Do you think that if you should date an African person, there wouldn't be a cohesion about the cultural differences?
I don't think that necessarily culture differences have to be a clash. I think that you can both learn something from each other's culture. I mean, for instance, my parents, my dad's Dutch and my mom was raised Hindu Suriname. So, and they found a way to make their relationship work and find beauty in the differences and learn from each other. And my dad learned how to cook because of that, because of all the ways that my mother taught him how to cook. So I think that cultural differences are beautiful, and that's the whole part of the world.
I'm Mia.
Yeah.
I'm from the UK.
Do you think that the Western media has appropriately spoken good about the black people or the African people?
No, I don't think so. I think that I'm a political science student, so I talk a lot about Western portrayals of minorities and stuff, and it's so fucked. It's not.
What's your name?
Aisha.
Aisha?
Yes.
How do you see African people in the Western world?
In the Western world, well, it depends if you're from Africa or from America, but mostly it's also my family, and I'm also African, so I just have a neutral opinion on it. I think.
Do you think the Western media has appropriately portrayed African properly?
Ooh, that's a hard question. I think it could be better, but they're doing great so far. It's getting better and better in these past few years.
Quinta. Okay, how do you see African people? You have African friends?
Not a lot.
Not a lot, but how do you see African people in the Western world?
I still think that they're not fully viewed as citizens of the Western world. But for me, they are. Yeah. For myself, I study communication science, political communications in general, in specific. I think it is a part of a problem. Yeah, I think a lot a different kind of problem is also culture-wise. People they're not used to it still, but media does play a big part.
Celeste.
Do you think Africans are being portrayed well in the Western media?
I think we're not there yet. We need to improve more.
How do you see African people in the Western world?
I'm just very used to a lot of diversity, so I don't really question it a lot. I've been growing up with a lot of countries, so Africa, South America, a lot of countries. I'm kind of used to it, I guess. I've always had friends who were half that, half this.
I know most ladies, if they are getting into a relationship or partnership, they want satisfaction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Good. So if you want satisfaction, why would other people or other ladies use toys in satisfying themselves instead of having partners who could satisfy them properly?
Because they know their body better. I think.
Why don't you tell that partner of yours to actually satisfy you properly than the toy?
I don't know, it depends.
It's a personal preference.
Yeah, it's yeah, exactly. It's a personal preference. Some people like it to do it themselves because they know their body very well. Some people like to have help, or they just like some other one's touch. It really depends on the person, I think.